Chapter 4 Wet Work. It was finally Saturday, and I was anxious to find the 2 containers and see what was in them. Today wasn't as sunny as last Sunday. The weather was kind of cloudy, but no rain. I had 1 fully loaded Raiden and a half-loaded backup just in case. Today it was only Randy, Ron, and me. Samantha, Karen's daughter, would celebrate her birthday today, so Karen invited all the women and kids over to her unit for the birthday party. We were also invited, but she knew what we had planned. There was also a light ball game on TV, and she knew most of the guys would just sit in the living capacitor and watch it anyway. I told Randy about what I had heard on the news, and he said he'd also caught wind of it. Ron must have just been thinking, tags, because he said, "Oh man, I can't wait to see what's in those boxes." I was thinking the same, so I couldn't blame him. Randy said, "They say it's slowly moving from the north of Carinus. I'm getting a little worried, but I believe it will be at least a month before it could reach us here. I just hope they can get it under control before then." We suited up and boarded the QXH-9, which is a small platform boat with a small battery-powered engine. Usually people use it to fish, but it was perfect to get out to where we wanted to go and dive from it. It was flat, quiet, and good for not drawing too much attention. Without Randy, we wouldn't have been able to make all of this happen. He's been buying stuff like this all his life and just waiting for a chance to use it. We had a long, thin diving rope so we wouldn't lose the QXH-9 while we were under. We thought it would be best if we all dived, in case we found the containers and they were stuck or extra heavy. The submerging suits that Randy gave us were equipped with the latest diving technology. The suits contain automatic pressure regulators, information displays in the head coverings, oxygen stabilizers, built-in communicators, and even a left-arm robotic assist. Some suits came equipped with 2-arm assists, but they were more expensive and a little heavier. We navigated to the area where the cambots had to turn around and anchored the QXH-9 a few meters before the drop-off. We then entered the water. Randy had an underwater camera that he had attached to his suit with which he started filming. Almost instantly, we noticed that a few meters below the drop-off was a dark gray container wedged between 2 rocks on a slope. "That's one of them!" shouted Ron in excitement and created a lot of bubbles. The container was about 4 feet long and 2 feet wide. It had some writing on it which was followed by a long number. It appeared to be waterproof and tightly sealed. It had 2 handles on it. We tied one of them to the rope. Randy signaled that we should go farther down. As we submerged farther, the light was getting darker. Only our head cover SLDs and the light from Randy's camera were illuminating things. We were able to see about 3 to 4 feet in front of us. Now we were almost 8 meters down and no sign of the second container. I was starting to feel a little nervous because I had never been deeper than about 15 meters. I think our breadcrumb rope was about 30 meters, but we didn't plan on diving that deep. As we reached 9 meters, I threw a glance at my Raiden, which read 80%. I tried to keep cool and look for the container as hard as I could. A school of small silverfish startled me as they swam quickly past my head cover lens. I could see the shadow of my brother in the distance suddenly starting to move frantically with bubbles and flailing arms. The communicator beeped, and he came in shouting, "Here! Here! It's over here!" A wave of relief came over me because now we were about 9.5 meters down and it was getting creepy. Randy and I swam over to where he was, and sure enough, there was the other gray container with the same type of writing on it. It was sticking in a slope half buried in the seabed. Randy went back and filmed as Ron and I pulled it out of the seafloor. It probably weighed 20 to 30 pounds, but being stuck in the seabed made it seem like double that. We almost needed the robot assist, but we managed without it. We tried not to use it because it sucks a lot of power from the Raiden. After we managed to pull it out of the mud, it felt much lighter, and Ron and I could easily move it together. We started to ascend slowly, and I could hear the pressure regulator kick in. I glanced down at my Raiden again, which read 74%. Once we were at the surface, all 3 of us lifted the second container we had found out of the water and onto the QXH-9. It had started to drizzle a little, and a pretty strong wind was blowing across the ocean's surface. Ron suggested I wait on the platform, and he and Randy go back for the first container we'd found. The idea was I should pull the rope while they helped guide it through. This part of the operation took maybe 10 minutes or so, and we were on our way back to the beach. We had all taken off our suits and covered the containers as much as we could so people in the area, which weren't many, wouldn't start asking questions. We agreed to go to Randy's unit because he had all the high-tech stuff we might need to inspect the containers.